Woo, brother, we are back.
Yes, sir.
Episode 107 going down right now. Man, how was your week?
I honestly had a fucking great week.
Really?
Every day at work was smooth. I think it was because I was finally getting my woman back. She's been gone for 2.5 weeks, so I got her back on Thursday, and just all happy dude. No, that's amazing.
That's got to be tough, man. Like when you first get in a relationship with a girl that she goes on a vacation for
2.5 weeks. That shit's fucking crazy. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, it's been a fantastic week. Not even just that. Like, work has been going well. Everything has just been going really, really well.
And she was at a desert in California, so she couldn't, like, she didn't have...
I didn't even get to talk to her, really. Like, maybe once every 3 days, but, you know, it made me grow as a man.
No, dude, I'm glad that you had a great week. My week was fucking awful.
Why?
I mean, I will say this, like, the beginning parts of the week were great. Like, I was, we dropped 2 episodes this week. So if anyone wants to see, all the guys that are in our fantasy league this year kind of talk some shit, then that episode is up now. Shout out to everyone that did give me good feedback on that episode. Also, we dropped the episode with Malcolm Jackson.
The mayor.
Dude, yes, I mean, I'm just like, that episode was just, I mean, such an honor to have him on the podcast.
There's a lot of eyes on that episode.
A lot of people did watch that episode. Also, just with these past 2 episodes that we dropped, it was like, so many people hit me up and were like, yo, you guys are crushing it right now. And I love hearing that shit, man. It really just fires me up. But no, dude, at the end of the week.
What happened?
Awful, bro.
Are you okay?
I know you've dealt with this shit before. But no, so I'm on the way to work on Friday. And throughout the week, I was kind of having like some uncomfortableness, and it was weird. It was like in like the side, like kind of where, I guess some people say it's like where your appendix is. But no, it would just be like in the mornings, like I'll, be on my way to work, or I'll be on my way to go do anything really. And you just start feeling this like uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
And it was weird. It was like, it's something like, it'll kind of come on like randomly. Like I'll be, when I'm sitting in the car a certain way, I'm like, what's going on with my body? It's like with the way I'm sitting down sometimes. Or, I'll be, just helping out somebody or doing something, and like I'm moving around a lot.
You feel like you gotta like...
Yeah, it's weird. It's so hard to explain. It's like uncomfortable. Yeah. It's the only way I can say to do it. Like you're trying to like move your body around to like get more comfortable, or like I'll be driving and I'll be like taking my seatbelt off because I'm like, is it just like tight right there or something? Like what's going on? And then on my way to work Friday, from the moment I got up, bro, I'm like taking a shower. I'm like, yo, like I definitely feel some pain right now. I don't know what's going on. And I kind of thought, like, I knew that at some point, like if this uncomfortableness continues, like I'm going to need to go check.
Are you scared at this point? Like, are you worried?
Yeah, because I'm like, I was kind of thinking about going to the doctor like at some point, like throughout the week, and just figuring out, like I wouldn't even know what doctor to go to because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this feeling is, bro. And so Friday, I'm on my way to work. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm on 95, and it's just like unbearable, bro. Like I don't even know who to call at this point. Like I'm just like, I'm sitting there. I almost called you, and like I know because it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, you're on your way to work too. I'm like, what do I do, bro? Like it started feeling so much pain, like in the right side, and I started feeling it like in my back a little bit too. And I'm like, this is fucking unbearable, bro. Like I really swear to God, bro, I would not wish to show my worst enemy.
Really?
I'm like halfway to work on 95. There's no exits nearby. There's like a gap where it's like a 2 mile, maybe 1.5 mile distance of just no exits. I had to pull the car over, bro. I lost feeling in my fucking legs. Like my legs started going like numb. I think it was just because I was in so much pain that like everything, it just literally, it felt like my body was just shutting down, but only on like the right side. Like, well, left side was good, but I kept adjusting myself in my car. Like I'd be driving and I'm like trying to like move around in the seat, and like, bro,
is it pain or is this
it's pain? Yeah. At this point, it's fucking pain. I'm like
sweating.
I'm sweating profusely, bro. I'm trying to like, I got the air on full blast in my car. Literally like there's been very few pains in my life where usually I've got a pretty like high pain tolerance, but like I'm in my car, I'm like like I'm like fucking like
you're making noises,
bro, like screaming, dude. Like I'm like I have nothing on the radio, like I can't. My brain is like fucking, dude. It was the worst feeling I've ever had in my entire life. I ended up pulling over on the side of 95. And I am like out of my car, like trying to stretch, like trying to move around, like do something to make this pain go away. And it literally, I get this sharp pain that just stabs me, bro. It feels like you're literally being tased from like the back, like your back. It feels like you are getting like, bro, honestly, I feel like this would feel like to be like stabbed or something.
Yeah.
And so it hits me. I drop down. I'm on like all fours, like on the fucking side of the highway, like It's so close to yakking.
You're going
so close to yakking, bro. I'm like sitting there just like, oh my God, I started to get super nauseous. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Finally, like I get, after maybe like being there for like 10 minutes, like just like hunched over the side of my car, like going from like the ground to like the side of my car, like just like trying to figure out like what is going to make this shit go away. It finally like passes, but it's not like the pain passes, but it's not like a
you're still uncomfortable.
I'm still uncomfortable. Yeah, it's not like it's fully gone away. So I call my boss. I'm like, there's no way this is fucking happening today. Like, I'm not going to work, whatever. Head back to the house. Immediately, I'm like, all right, I know that I'm heading to the hospital right after this. Mm-hmm. So I go to work. Like, my uniform for work is like a lot of like, it's like my shirt's tucked in. It's like a lot of like tighter clothes or whatever. So I'm like, fuck all this. Throw on some sweatpants. I literally went straight to the emergency room. I was like, there's no way I could ever deal with that pain again. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, we got to get this shit figured out. Like, if that comes on again, like, I'm fucked. You know what I'm saying? I mean, literally, bro, you're sitting there and you're like, it's like the whole, every organ in your body just feels like it's fucking given up. Yeah. Like, it's just like tapped out, bro.
So you go to the emergency room, what happened?
I go to the emergency room, I get everything checked out. They're running all these tests. The doctors are saying it's like, could be something with your appendix, could be something with like this or that. And then they're like, have you ever had kidney stones? And I'm like, no, but I know my best friend Joseph
I've had a few.
I know Joey's had a few kidney stones, and you've told me what they feel like, and it just is this like unbearable pain. But I always thought that it was like unbearable, like when you're passing it, you know what I mean? No. Like when it's coming out of your body. No. And I didn't realize that it was like unbearable pain while.
When it goes from like your kidney to your bladder, there's a little tube that it goes down. And that shit is bad, brother.
Bro, I have a newfound respect for you whenever you're going through that
Thank
shit.
You.
I was like, because you've had multiple, right? Yeah. Like, I've never experienced a pain like that my entire life. Finally, like, we ran through some like a CAT scan or MRI or something, did a couple tests, and like, yeah, you got a couple kidney stones in your, like, it's still passing.
That's
and,
rough.
And I was like, oh my God, like, I had no idea that was the pain that people were talking about. And like, my doctor, like, I'm pretty close with him. He was like, we've had like NFL players in here before, and they're like on all fours screaming like they can't handle it. And he's had people like ladies come in. I guess girls can get it too, and they've came in and they've said it's worse than giving birth. And I'm like, I swear to you, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish it on Tom Brady back in 2017. I would not wish this on anyone, bro.
Oh my gosh.
It is just the worst fucking pain. You feel like, honestly, bro, like
it's bad.
Yeah. So
have you passed it?
It was so bad. I have not passed it.
That's bad news.
He said that it was because this is yesterday that I went to the doctor and everything. He did put me on like a bunch of meds, so like I'm on like narcotics and shit, bro, like so that it won't be as painful. But at the same time, like
it's a rock.
It's a rock. It's a rock, bro. Like, yeah, like I've heard it's a fucking terrible, terrible experience. So looking forward to that.
Shout out to you.
It has been quite the week, but I will say this, like once I get it, they said that you can take the stone and like get it tested to see what is wrong with it. Bro, I'll change my whole fucking diet. I will change everything.
That's what I said too.
Brother, I will change everything. I mean, it was like I've never been in that kind of pain before. I mean, I literally thought that, like, he said that it was also it's apparently like as large as a stone can be without it having to get like surgically removed or whatever, or like they do like a thing where it breaks it down or something.
We know
like that.
Everything you do, you like to do it big. So I mean, it only makes sense that you're going to have the biggest stone that's possible,
brother. It was the worst pain of my entire life. And so, I mean, it's so hard for me to even say I had a good week after yesterday. Oh. So, yeah.
Do you feel like a stronger man?
Brother, I feel like I've gone to war. I mean, holy fuck. I feel so great right now because it's like, like I've got medicine, like everything, is, the pain isn't there. I've already gone through like the hard parts, he said. You know what I mean? He's like, if you wake up tomorrow morning and, you're not really feeling any uncomfortableness or pain, that's how you know that it made it like through the kidney.
The little passage.
Yeah, the passage from your kidney to your bladder. So I was like, okay, the hard part is done. You know what I mean? There's still some more hard parts.
Testing it out isn't the best.
He said, he said that, since you've got such a hog on you, that it won't be that hard to pass because it's so big.
Wouldn't that hurt more? So that's why he said it was easier for you to pass. Because, I mean, if you do have a hog, that's more that it has to go through, So, but since
But it's so
You're
big.
the way
but
you
it's
are.
Like, but
it doesn't have much to go through.
No. See, is
that what he's saying?
Well, so that's the thing. So like the doctor, like he, but the doctor saw it because he had to like check.
You showed it to him.
Well, he had to make sure that like it wasn't any other problems or whatever. I like showing it off. And so
that's cute.
The doctor is like, oh my god, like when I whipped it out, he's like, you are packing.
That's what he said.
He was like, you are packing, and so. He's like, I don't even think there is a stone. I've never seen a stone big enough to like affect something like this because it's just like so big and massive and powerful. And
your ego.
So yeah.
Is that what you were stroking?
No, but he said regardless, the stones always kind of hurt when they come out a little bit. But he said it's a lot quicker of a process than when you're actually going through. He's like, the worst part is when it's going from your kidney to your bladder.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, if I've already survived that, like, bro, anything compared to that I'm good.
Just a warning. I mean, I've been through it a couple times. You're gonna be scared after you pass it. You're gonna be scared to pee for the rest of your life.
Really?
Every time I go to the bathroom, I'm like. I like put my hand on the wall if I can. I'm like, just in case. Like it's like a shock, brother. You're like standing there pissing, and like you said, like a taser just comes up and bang.
I've heard you talk about it like before, like whenever you have them, and I'm just saying right now, I will acquire that stone however I have to get to it, and I'm saving it and taking it to a urologist, bro, so that I can figure out exactly what the problem is. They said there's over 50 different kinds of kidney stones, so I've done a ton of different like research on this, and they essentially like each stone will kind of like have its own little like reason for why you got the stone kind of. Basically like it can be anything from like your thyroid, I guess, produces like too much calcium or something.
Red meat, salt,
lack
of water,
a lot of sodium in different kinds of foods, lack of water, sugar. I saw one, if you drink too many protein shakes. So this is one thing. Like I'm obviously nervous for them to tell me that I've been drinking too much Red Bull. Okay, I think all the listeners right now are pretty nervous. As you can see, I'm drinking water right now. I think all the listeners are pretty nervous for them to say, you're drinking too much Red Bull, and like, or it's something that the Red Bull has. Because as of right now, I mean, for the past couple of weeks, man, I've been down in about 2 a day,
and that could be your problem.
That could be my problem. I've been trying to drink a lot of water with it as well, but also the protein shake one. I guess if you're intaking too much protein, especially in like the protein powder form or something, then that can add to it as well.
Yeah.
I am nervous for that because I've been down in the protein shakes, bro. So I don't want to cut back on like my protein shake intake because that's obviously better for you than the Red Bull is.
Yeah.
But I love that Red Bull, man. So hey. If there's any time for fucking A to sponsor this podcast, we need fucking A to sponsor this podcast right now.
We'll reach out to them.
And no, but that's pretty much the gist of my week. It was.
I'm glad it started off well.
Yeah, the most painful week of my life, bro. The most painful day of my life. The rest was just kind of like uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
But I've got a newfound respect for you going through that shit, bro. It is insane. So, if anyone's ever had that before, our hearts and prayers are with you.
Shout out to
the absolute worst feeling I've ever had in my entire life. But yeah, so that's my week.
Let's do win of the week now.
So let's get into our win of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, win of the week. Episode 107. You want to start us off?
I'll go first. My win of the week. Gotta make it this merch, man.
Brother.
I've worn this shirt maybe 2 times. This is the second time. And every time I've gotten like at least 10 compliments on it.
Bro,
and then I'm like, this is the podcast. And then they freak out even more. It's so dope.
So here's one thing I forgot to mention. I wore this shirt whenever I went to the hospital. Obviously, I've washed it since then, But when I go to the hospital, I threw this shirt on, just trying to throw something on quick. Also, let me just say, the comfiest shirt I've ever worn. It's heavyweight t-shirt. I love heavyweight tees. It's brand new, fresh out the package. I was like, bro, let's just go ahead and put this thing for a run. So I walk in there, and I'm getting my CAT scan or MRI, whatever the fuck it was. And the lady that's like the tech in there giving, help, I guess they're like an x-ray tech or something. Yeah. She's like, what's up with your shirt? She's like, is that like a podcast you listen to or something like that or whatever? I was like, no, actually me and my homie, we do this podcast. And she's like, no way. She's like, my son listens to y'all all the time.
That's amazing.
She's like, her son has been, I guess he's been a listener of the podcast for a while, and she's always like trying to watch the TV, but he's got OG Sessions playing on YouTube on her TV.
That's amazing.
And I was like, no way. That is insane. And actually, even smaller world, that lady lives like right down the street from where my mom lives. So like where I grew up as a kid, bro. And I was like, it's just such a small world.
Yeah.
And I asked her for what her son's name was and everything, and we neither of us know him. And
but she's gonna go back and tell her son, I met the one of the hosts of OG Sessions.
Yeah, and he has kidney stones.
He's dying.
No, it's funny, man. And also like the doctor mentioned, he was like, you don't just have one, like there's two. And so this is going to be a process. Ladies and gentlemen, ride with me.
I'll be
Pray
praying
for me.
you, yeah.
No, brother, we're going to get this thing done.
Just call me if you need some water, man. 3 a.m. and you're thirsty.
My water intake is insane right now, bro. I've probably drinking. I mean, it's well over a gallon. I'm probably drinking like multiple gallons of water a day. I mean, I am like going crazy with the water right now. So that's one good thing about my body. Yeah, I might not ever drink anything but water for the rest of my life. Just after this week, bro. No, but my win of the week is great win of the week, by the way.
Thank you.
Shout out to our merch. It's been a long time coming.
Love it.
A lot of samples that, we could get the sample in. It's not exactly
Didn't
what we
like
want.
it.
Send it back. No, so definitely a long process getting this done. If anyone wants to shop that merch, it is
ogsessions.com.
the fact that we got that URL.
I know, that's amazing.
So sick.
It's easy.
I thought we were going to have to do OG Sessions shop or something like that, but no, we were able to get ogsessions.com, which that was also a challenge in itself. But no, if you guys are watching this episode, make sure you go check out ogsessions.com. Everything is available now. We dropped, I think, a week ago.
Yes, sir.
By the time this episode comes out. So shout out to everyone that's been rocking with us throughout this whole process. It's been a fucking mission.
What's your win of the week?
My win of the week is Prize Picks. Sports betting. Okay, so by the time this episode comes out, this will be a couple weeks after I've already tried my first sports bet, but this weekend was my first ever time like sports betting. I've never done it before. I've done like different kinds of like betting before, like I've gambled and stuff like that in the past, but I've never actually done like sports betting, like where you bet on a game or you bet on players or whatever. I've heard a ton of people like talking about Prize Picks, and Prize Picks was actually doing a deal where it's like they match you up to $100, right? In my mind, I'm not about to drop $100 on this shit. I don't know if I'm going to even enjoy it. Like, I'm not doing it if I don't enjoy it. Like, even if I make some money, like if it's like a pain in the ass, just another hassle, like fuck it, And so we had the Thursday night and the Friday night game for this week for the NFL. And I was like, you know what? I know NFL. We just did our fantasy draft. And I was like, let me try something. So Prize Picks, download it, start checking shit out. And they had one of the bets was, because you have to match, it's got to be like at least a parlay. So it's got to be at least two players. And so the first time, let me pull my phone out just to make sure I get the stats right. So I just deposited $25. I was like, $25, that'll get me at least, technically $50 to play with. And the minimum you could do was 25. So I was just trying to put in like the least amount possible. And if I lose this whole 25,
you're done.
Or the whole 50, like I'm done. I'm not putting in another thing. Like I'm not in this market to lose money. The last thing I need right now is to lose some money.
Right.
So, first night I put up $10 on a parlay for Caleb Williams to throw for 1 yard, which that game's on Sunday. So that hasn't happened yet, but it's 1 fucking yard. That's actually like their promo. So every week they'll do like a crazy deal, where one of your players, it's like all they have to do is throw for like 1 yard or something. So that I paired that with Derrick Henry, 1 rushing or receiving touchdown, and Harrison Buckner. Basically, all he has to do is make 2 field goals. Or Harrison Butker, sorry. So Harrison Butker got his 2 field goals, and Derrick Henry got a rushing touchdown. And obviously, Caleb Williams is going to throw for at least 1 yard on Sunday. That's $10 to pay out $50.
Talk to him.
That's a good odds, bro.
Yeah.
And I won my first bet, so obviously I was like so hyped. So then Friday night, I'm like, let me make another bet. You know what I mean? Just to keep it going. And I'm gonna keep trying to run up this money as far as possible, but I'm not gonna spend any of the money. Like I'm not gonna what is it like? No, so I'm not gonna deposit any.
Okay, you're just gonna build
into the thing. I'm just gonna keep building off this 25 and see how high I can run this $25 up to.
Yeah.
So. That bet hits. That's going to get me $10 for 50. And then last night for the Eagles and Green Bay game, I did not, bro. The odds are kind of iffy on this. So how it works is you basically choose a player and then you pick more or less on that set projection. So it'll say like Jalen Hurts throws for 275 yards. You got to go more or over.
Yeah.
And I never know because it's week 1. Like you don't know how this defense is going to hold up. You don't know how like anything is going to. So I just went with a safe pick. Okay, I paired Caleb Williams again.
Yeah.
Because it's such a lock. Every pretty much every single bet I do this week will be a Caleb Williams bet because that 1 yard, it's like that's just a free pick and it's going to multiply your bet, obviously. I went with Jake Elliott, Philadelphia's kicker, to have 2 field goals. Bro had 2 field goals.
Talk to him, okay.
So that was $10 for 45. So I'm up. I placed two $20 worth of bets, and I'm up to $95, boys.
Damn, that's crazy.
So that's my win of the week, man. Like, we're making money on this shit. If we can keep this ball rolling, obviously, my first week, I wanted to, like, this first weekend of sports, all my bets are going to be $10 bets. I don't want to go crazy with anything yet, or like try to do even like a $20 bet. Like, you can obviously win way more, but I just want to see kind of like how this all plays out. I'm not
the more you put in, the more you get out.
For sure. Yeah. So it's like double. It just multiplies it. And so that's my win of the week, is like kind of taking the jump with sports betting and trying to see how this shit really works.
I might have to get on it.
You should. You honestly should, bro. Because, like, I mean, there's certain things where it's like you are kind of like there is some risk there or whatnot. But week 1, where it's like Derrick Henry, anytime rushing touchdown, and then Harrison Butker, 2 field goals, it's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like, that for me is a lock, bro. So when I made that bet, I mean, I think Derrick Henry, first drive of the game, got a touchdown. And then Harrison Butker, I don't think he got his second field goal until like maybe the third quarter, but still.
Yeah.
Like, that's the type of game where I'm like, I could definitely bet that, whatever. So no, that's my win of the week.
Good shit. I like it.
Making some money. If Prize Picks wants to sponsor this, segment or whatever, should we make it a segment?
We should do a segment.
Once you start sports betting, I think it'd be dope to make it a segment.
Do like a breakdown?
Yeah, of like the bets you're making for that week or whatever, or the bets you made the previous week or something, and if they paid out or whatever.
I'll tell you, if Prize Picks sponsors, I'll do it every week.
Oh, 100%. I like that. I like
even an
that.
Affiliate.
If you guys want to see this, by the way, comment right now. That's a lock.
I'll sports bet.
That would be dope. I would love to see you start sports betting. Also, shout out to everyone that's in the Fantasy Football League. I know this week I'm playing Smitty, a.k.a. Team Story's Not Finished. Boy, I'm about to put that hammer on that boy. I think right now I'm up a few points, but I also have had more players play than him. Who do you play this week?
Speaking of fantasy, I'm playing Cam Mitchell, by the way. But every week I want to change my name to where like it's a diss on whoever I'm playing. So I'm playing Cam Mitchell, and I changed my name to Wham Bam. Thank you, Cam.
I like that. I actually might start doing that.
You should.
I'll change my name this week to Story's Definitely Finished.
Story is over.
Story is over. New York Times worst seller. No, shout out to the boys that are in the Fantasy Football League. Obviously, it's only week 1, so not too much shit talk to be said right now, but
fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. Very excited for this week's episode, man. This episode 107. We brought back a guest that was a fan favorite last season.
One of my favorites.
Honestly, yeah, for sure, one of my favorites as well. And just someone the audience definitely liked as well. Very excited to have him back on the show. He's been hustling, and it's always good to get guys that have just all gas, no brakes on the podcast, man. So let's jump right into that.
Let's go.
What up, OGs? We are here, episode 107 going down right now, and I'm here with my brother Joey Allen.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling, man?
Feeling good.
So this is a big episode. We're bringing back a fan favorite guest, someone that we had on at the end of last season that everyone really fucking loved. I mean, honestly,
I loved it.
Well, I was gonna say one of our favorite episodes to record out of all last season. So definitely really excited about this one, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for the man himself, the owner of Hotbox Pretzels, Roman Desmond.
Thank you.
How you doing, bro?
Stoked to be back.
So you've been a busy man.
I have been very
since
busy.
your last time on the pod, dude.
Yes.
So let's jump right into it. You were on the show Food Stars.
Yes, with Gordon Ramsay and Lisa Vanderpump.
Yes, sir.
What was that experience like, man?
Oh, dude, it was crazy. Yeah, even when I think back to it now, it's just like, was that even like real? Like, it was crazy. And then going from all that, like the whole reality TV world, and then I'm just right back here in Jacksonville, just doing my everyday.
Did you notice a huge change in like followers and stuff whenever you came back?
Yeah.
From people that watch the show and stuff?
Yeah. I've had like probably over 100 people coming up to the truck, like taking pictures with me and all types of stuff.
Dope.
Yeah.
So I like the way that you did it too, man, where you would have like watch parties where you would have Hotbox Pretzels go to like, Ink Factory Brewing, or like you had some places in South Florida, I think that you went to. Mm-hmm. And, you guys pop up with the truck and then everyone gets to watch the show. I thought that was really cool the way you did that.
Yeah. I mean, I was just trying to make the most of the short little time frame of it airing, and really just try to do as much as I could with the. Yeah,
you did a great job, bro.
Thank you.
So I've got so many questions about this. I know Joey does as well. let's just start from square one with it. How did you apply for the show, or did they kind of contact you and be like, hey, we want you to be on this? Have you ever even heard of Food Stars before?
Yeah, so I actually have a funny story that I told like multiple times in the show, but it never ended, like it didn't make the cut. And I told it multiple times because I was like, there's a chance they cut it, but if I say it this many times, like, hopefully it'll get on. So I was actually watching the show with my girlfriend when the first season. So I was on the second season of the show. So I was watching the first season, and I was like, right when I was starting up the pretzel business, and I was like, hey, I think I could probably like be on the show. Like, this is something pretty cool. Like, I think I could do pretty well. Like, I was just watching the challenges, and I was like, oh, I think I could do good in like most of those challenges. And then totally forgot about it. And then months down the road, I just get a DM on Instagram like, hey, we have this new show with Gordon Ramsay, like season 2. Like, you want to apply for it? I was like, yeah, for sure. Like, that sounds, yeah, I couldn't believe that it was just like, she messaged me and I was talking about the show. So everything moved pretty fast. She's like, all right, call me tonight. And that was at like 10 o'clock at night. So hopped on the phone with her, and she just like works for like a casting agency that just finds people. There was like 3 or 4 people in charge of it. So like I worked with like the same one as some of the other people on the show. And then she like reached out to all different people. So they saw my YouTube video that I did with Upflip. Yeah. And she thought it was cool and thought I'd be good for the show. So just gave me a call. And then the application process was like probably about 4 or 5 months.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So what is the layout for this show? Are they looking for like food entrepreneurs essentially?
Yeah. So it started with 24 food entrepreneurs from around the whole U.S. There was tons of different brands, from cookies to hot sauce to wine, baby food. I had pretzels.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, there was a bunch of different things.
Was there anyone else who was trying to do the pretzels?
No pretzels. There was, probably the closest to me was like cookies.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, actually, I don't think anyone had like a fresh baked product on there.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay, so whenever they're all reaching out to you to try to get these people on the show, was other people allowed to apply as well? So like, how many people do you think applied? Was it just 24?
No, yeah, it was like open applications. Like I even saw, like after I already got on, like already started the application, like I saw like Gordon Ramsay post about it on his Instagram and like some other bigger people posting about it. I want to say they had like around like 5,000.
Oh my God.
And they reached out to you.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's dope. Cool. And so you don't think there was any other connection through there? Like, you think she just saw the hot box pretzels thing and was like, hey, we need to reach out to this guy?
Yeah. She literally called me. Like, she's like, I just watched your video like an hour ago, and I mean, that's like part of her job. She just like goes on YouTube and tries to find like cool businesses to get on the show.
Yeah.
And just came across my video.
Did that video, was it doing well? Like, did it blow up?
Yeah. That video has a lot of views on it. I think like 700,000 or 800,000.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Dope.
Yeah.
So they reach out to you. You fly to London and audition, I guess, just like any other reality show.
So before that, actually, I didn't know that I was going on the show until 6 days before I was actually flying out to London.
Really?
Oh my God.
So it was like going in stages. So it was like I'd do like a couple Zoom things with like different people, like working my way up the ladder of like people like in the US, and then it went over to people in London that I was meeting with, and then the producers and all types of stuff like that, doing like background checks and all like, it's crazy. I would have never guessed how much stuff I had to do for this.
Really?
And then it was probably like 2 weeks before I was supposed to fly out. They gave me the date, but they didn't tell me yes or no. And I'm like, hey, like, am I going on the show? Like, I kind of need to get stuff prepared to leave for like 2 months. Like, I never left my business before or anything like that. And then it never heard anything. And then 6 days before, I was actually in Nicaragua surfing like for the week before the show. And I was like, hey, can I like go surf in Nicaragua? Like, am I allowed to leave the country like before I fly? And they're like, yeah, sure. So I got back. 6 days before the day I got back, they called me and they were like, hey, like, you got on the show, like, do you accept? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, all right, pack your bags to fly out for 2 months.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So you're gone for 2 months.
Well, you expect to be gone for 2 months.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Just for, I mean, when you get voted off the show, you fly back to the U.S.
Okay, gotcha. Mm-hmm. And so for the people that have never watched Food Stars, I know that before you had been on it, I had never even really heard of the show before. But looking into it, you realize how big of a production this is. Obviously, Gordon Ramsay and Lisa Vanderpump are like, legends.
Yeah.
But, just after watching you go through the process, I'll be 100% honest. I did not sit there and watch like every single episode and like all the stuff, but I did watch all the challenges, and I looked like on YouTube specifically, like for all the things you were in, and watched all those, and it just looks so intense, bro. I mean, the production is insane for this show. Like, explain to people kind of what what the like structure is and how you kind of work your way up and win the money.
Yeah, so the whole show is basically they just took like almost Shark Tank, The Apprentice, and like some type of cooking shows and just like mashed it all into one show. So it's all business people and you get put in through your business, but then once you're on the show, you don't actually use your like brand or business through these challenges.
Sure, okay.
They're just testing like you as an entrepreneur pretty much, not like your actual brand. And then just all types of challenges. Like we were doing crazy stuff. We were like pitching to like the chief officer at Mars who like owns like Skittles and M&Ms and
No way.
yeah, like a $50 billion company. We're like in their headquarters on the top of London pitching our chocolate bar idea that we just came up with in 30 minutes.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're like we went to like the biggest convention center in all of the UK to for this like food manufacturing one, and we like did like a presentation with like these like food gadgets they gave us.
Were you nervous at any point?
Yeah.
Because that's insane. Like
Yeah.
you're just getting thrown to the wolves pretty much, and you
Yes.
have to perform or else
Yeah,
you're done.
And it's like at a certain point, like after a couple episodes, you kind of just forget about the cameras. Like it's just like it's so stressful in these things, and then the time is just like you blink and it's like 30 minutes is gone in these challenges. And you also don't know how much time is left because you don't have we didn't have phones or anything, so we couldn't like look at the time, and you just have to ask the producer like, hey, how much time's left?
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So was there, obviously you made it to the final, so you did multiple challenges. Did you find that the nerves kind of went away as you did more challenges?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
So the whole time you're kind of sitting there like, okay, it's got to be so nerve-wracking, not just trying to like complete everything, but also not embarrass yourself on like live television.
Yeah.
Yes.
In front of Gordon Ramsay too.
Bro, like
that's
that's
insane.
He's going to grill you regardless, you know?
Yeah, it was actually kind of cool though, because I wasn't on Gordon's team. So I actually never really got like yelled at by Gordon until like the kitchen episode, which is when they merged the teams together a little later down the line. But like it was kind of funny because we were like competing against him. So like when we would be doing good, we're just like kind of shitting on Gordon, like talking shit to him the whole time. Like during the food truck one, like we had like such a long line and we were like killing it in the food truck, and we could see like we were doing way better than him. And he like came over and we're like, you know how good that is? Like, you know, it's better than your food truck over there. So it's pretty cool.
That's dope.
Did you ever hear him grilling other people? Like, did you get to witness
Oh, yeah.
it? That's amazing.
Oh yeah, but it was a different vibe than like
He didn't do the
Hell's
idiot
Kitchen
sandwich where he's got the two pieces
Yeah.
of bread. He's like, you're an idiot sandwich or something.
Yeah, during the kitchen one where we went and cooked in the Savoy Kitchen, which is one of his Michelin star restaurants in London. So we actually cooked like in the kitchen for a full breakfast service.
Wow.
And he came back there and screamed.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's crazy. I saw those. I saw those clips. That is insane.
That was one of the coolest challenges for sure.
Did you feel like you kind of had the upper hand in the food truck challenge?
Yes, but that was the first episode, was the food truck challenge, and I like went into this was like, I'm just not going to be the best and I'm not going to be the worst. I'm just going to like float my way by the whole show.
Yeah.
It's kind of the plan, because I've like watched other reality shows and stuff, and if you just kind of, also I took notes on like the season before of like the winner. I like watched back and I like saw what the winner did in like each episode to like not get voted off.
Oh, that's smart.
So he just kind of like floated by right in the middle the whole time. So I was like, I'm not going to be the best. I'm not going to be the worst. And I did that pretty much the whole time. But some people on my team like didn't step up as much, and I like had no choice but just to like step up and hope I don't go home. But so the first one, they were like food truck challenge. I'm like, oh, well, obviously I have to be the leader of this one.
Yeah.
So I was definitely pretty nervous for that one, but we crushed the other team.
Does your team know like what you do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're kind of expected to take the lead on that.
Yeah. Everyone knew each other's businesses at this point pretty well. Even though it was the first episode, when we did that first like audition with the 24 people that got cut down to 14, we were in that room, like the audition waiting room, for 12 hours for 2 days in a row.
That's tough.
Oh my God.
So they did like 12 one day and 12 the next day, because it takes like an hour per person to do like the whole setup, the run through, the walk in, then you're in there with Gordon and Lisa for about like 20-25 minutes, and then your exit interviews. So it was like a pretty big process. So we talked to each other for like 24 hours.
Jeez.
That's insane. Yeah. So are you, during that process, it's 24 people, but only 14 people make it. So are you seeing the other people like that didn't make it come back to the room and be like kind of...
So I actually didn't, because I went third.
Okay.
Yeah, I went third in the order. So by the time I got pulled out to go, I didn't even know that people were getting sent back in if they got told no. Like no one knew anything. No one knew like they didn't tell us anything.
No direction.
Yeah.
They were like, you're gonna go do this 3-minute pitch and you'll figure out what happens when they tell you. Yeah, so I didn't even know people were coming back in getting no's. Only one person before me got yes and one person got no.
Okay.
So I came in and it was like yes, and then everyone's like going crazy, which they actually didn't even show that on the show of me coming back in. They make you do so much stuff that doesn't even end up making the cut.
I'm sure they have to kind of like
Trying to get the clips.
Yeah, get as many clips as possible, as much content as possible, so that
like,
they can choose.
Probably, I would say like 45 hours of videos for like a 45-minute episode.
No way.
Yeah, crazy. There's like 8 cameras going at all times.
Were you expecting the production to be like that high level?
No. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect, but it blew me away. There's like 200 people on set.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
And for a lot of those challenges, like the indoor ones, are you in a I guess like a studio, like where they kind of set
Like
everything up to make it, like a set?
No, the only set was for the grillings.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so that was at like this Riverside Studios place in London that we would go to every time. And like everyone obviously hated going there because that meant someone was going home. So it was like the worst place to go to.
Well, did you have any like pressure? Did you think at any point you were going to be going home?
Not really. No, I played it like so like just in the middle. Like I always made sure there was at least like 2 people that were like doing worse than me.
Yeah. And so even though you're on a team with these people, there is kind of like a little bit of a competition aspect within your team. Like you almost want to make sure that you're still kind of outperforming the people that are on your team,
For sure.
not just Gordon's team.
It was more of a challenge against your own team than even the other team.
Really?
Because like at a certain point you can't control what the other team's doing. Like if they're going to do good, they're going to beat you. So like you just have to be like you're competing against the people on your own team.
Yeah.
For sure.
Did you do anything throughout the episode where you're like, God, I hope they don't air this?
Yeah.
The bar challenge, which is definitely the one I've got the most shit for sure. Because I made like this mocktail that Gordon like absolutely hated, but no one on my team was really like taking the initiative to make the drinks. So they split us in half. Half went to this like prop house to decorate this immersive bar that we had to make, and half of us went down to this like bar area they created with all types of just concoctions of like every ingredient to make cocktails.
Okay.
And we go down there, there's 4 of us, and we just start playing around. Like we didn't really know what we were going to do, but there were so many ingredients that we were just like messing around. And like, I don't really drink that much, and I don't really know. I've never like made craft cocktails really before. So I start just messing around and I make a mocktail, and like we all tried, and they're like, oh, this is good. So I'm like, all right, we'll just run with it then. And then we're like making the cocktail one, and we like can't land on anything. All of them are trying, and then I'm like, let me just give it a try. So I make something and it's like really good. And we end up going both of the cocktails we used of mine, but they don't actually like show that in the show.
Oh, okay.
And then they like make it look like just the worst one was mine.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then like I was behind the bar bartending, but like no one else stepped up to be behind the bar, but they make it look like I like volunteered to be behind the bar.
Oh my God.
They gave him the worst drink.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was the one on the show where it made it look like I was going home, and it was like down to me, but like I didn't really think I was going home.
Yeah. It's funny how like a lot of these shows, like you've heard that too with like a lot of other reality TV shows that like they'll do is, like they'll almost try to show like the worst sides of certain people, and then the internet will end up hating that person because of like the way they paint the picture. Do you feel like, was there any part of that show that felt staged? I think a lot of people wonder that as well. Like,
not staged, but they build what
Is
they
it
want to
political
see.
at all? Like, are there any like...
No.
Really?
No. It was, they like definitely build what they want to see, but like, I don't know, different people, like different sides of people come out when you're under that much pressure, and it's like a TV show, like I don't think that would happen in like everyday life, but when it's like they build this pressure up on you so much where they know who's going to crack and who's going to give them what they want to see on TV.
For sure.
And they like put it in, they manufacture it. They're pro. Like all these directors are pros at it. They know how to do it. And they do it in a way to where it doesn't feel too forced, but from like, I mean, I was like, some of the other people on the show like fully believed it was like all real and happening, and like there's a couple like, come on, like
yeah.
yeah.
It's funny, man, because I think a lot of people like whenever, especially with whether it's just like normal reality TV where it's like some love show like or The Bachelor or something like that or whatever.
Those are, after being on a reality show, those are so scripted.
I was gonna say they have
Yeah.
to be, bro. Like some of the things you're like, there's no way anyone would ever act like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even watch reality TV the same anymore. I'll like see it, and I'm like, no way, that didn't happen.
So whenever you got done with this process, it's like 2 months of you being in London and recording and whatever. they're not dropping the episodes. Like they're waiting until everything's done and recorded for them to start dropping episodes. Like once you get back, essentially, right?
Yeah. So it was actually one of like the fastest shows to ever be produced and released though, because it was only a month after I got back. Usually it's a following year.
Wow.
Yeah, so usually it's like the year after the show. Like the first season was like a year after it got released, but this time it was like a month. So they were already editing the episodes. Like by the time we were finishing up filming, like most of the beginning episodes were already done.
Oh wow. Okay. So how do they make sure that you don't then go back home and tell everyone like who the winner is and like how everything ended up?
You sign like a 200-page NDA.
Yeah.
And all types of legal stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had to like have meetings with like the top lawyers at Fox and like had like a super formal meeting with them where they read through this 200-page rule thing, and it took like 4 hours. And
did that kind of make you nervous?
Initialing every page. A little bit, but like there was people who had way more successful businesses than I had there, and they were just signing off. So I was like, all right, if they're doing it, it must be, it must be all right.
Because it's funny, like I know for me, like if I were to come back home, like, you know, I'm pretty sure you're in a relationship, like, you know, obviously it's like we all got moms or something. It's like if I were to come back and like my mom loved this show and she's like trying to ask me some questions about it, and we're just like in the like own privacy of like her living room, I'd be so tempted to be like, yeah, I'd probably tell, you know what I mean? I'd be like,
so family members also signed NDAs.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I had like because like obviously like people who were running my truck had to know like what was going on. Like I'm not gonna have my phone for like a week at a time. Like when we're filming these challenges, you don't have your phone. So like as business owners on the show, it was more lenient than a normal one. And we didn't have like chaperones. We were allowed to like kind of be more free.
Okay.
Versus other shows like MasterChef and those kind of shows. I heard they just like stay in their hotel room the whole time they're filming. They can't go out. Like on the weekends, we went around London. We were going out in London, eating at all types of restaurants. Like it was fun.
Okay,
it was really
dope.
fun. Yeah. But my like close, I think like 4 people signed NDAs that knew.
Okay, so you're allowed to talk to about it like with them.
Yeah.
But besides those 4 people, like y'all,
no one.
Because I remember we went to we saw you at Ink Factory one night, which for those that are outside Jacksonville, it's like a brewing company in Jacksonville, and we saw you up there, and I was like, and you had just gotten back recently. And I was like, bro, like how was the show and everything? And you were so like particular over what you could and couldn't.
Yeah, because I think like a couple episodes.
Yeah, there was like a couple
maybe.
episodes, and I was like, oh man, I wanted to know like a lot of the big.
It
things.
was hard. Yeah, it was hard not to say either.
You could see it on your face. You're like, I just do that. If you would have seen that NDA, yeah, like, you can't say too much.
Yeah,
man.
well, the hardest part was I got back, and for a whole month, like even all my friends didn't even know where I was. So they're like, "Where were you?" And I was like,
Damn.
Can't say.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because they knew I was gone like for 2 months, and I just get back and it's like back to normal.
Are you allowed to post that you're in London?
Yeah, we actually were. That was like a kind of a little gray area that we like figured out while we were there, and people were asking like, look, I post on social media every day because some of these people are like more influencer like in their business, and like they're like posting every day what they're doing and stuff, and they're like, I can't just not do that for 2 months. Like people are gonna think I like died or something.
Yeah.
So they let us post, and I was just telling people I was there for business.
Yeah, because I remember that's what you were saying. I saw you made a post that you were in London, and I was like, oh, like he's actually taking this shit to the next level. Like he's like, because what it's funny because when you're on this episode or on the podcast before you had done Food Stars and everything, you were just a guy with one food truck. You had like in a very successful food truck. Let me just say that it wasn't like you were just like not doing anything, but one very successful food truck in Jacksonville. You were running it, and it was just like you had these ideas like I want to open one in South Florida. I want to do this, and then before you know it, like you're in London for business, and I'm like, what the fuck, like bro, didn't even want to stay in the United States for this, you know? And so I think it caught a lot of people by surprise, and then when you released you were on Food Stars, everyone was like, there we go. Now it makes sense.
Yeah, which was funny. A lot of people actually thought like while the episodes were like coming out, I was like flying back there to like film an episode and then coming back. Like I had people like tell me like, oh, good luck this week. Like good luck. And I was like, no, it's already done. It's done. It's already filmed.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And so did you know like there's no surprises for you? Like when you're watching the episode, that you know everything that's going to happen?
Not really, because they mix stuff around. They'll like take like clips from like that happened like 15 minutes after and like of you saying something and like pull it back to like here, and like you're like, wait, I said that, or like kind of things like that. But for the most part I knew or actually no, I didn't, because you don't see the other team when you're doing the challenges, you don't see the other half of your team or the other team. So, like, watching the episodes, there was a bunch of stuff I didn't know happened.
Okay, so it's just as exciting for you to watch it back and see, okay, wow. Because it's funny, I feel like you did get a pretty good amount of screen time.
Yeah, like the first, like, 2 episodes, I was on it a bunch, and then it kind of fizzled out a little bit, and then towards the end, I was on it a bunch again.
Yeah. Sorry, how many challenges was it that you did until you got to the final?
So it was 10 episodes and then 9 challenges, and the first one was like the business pitch.
Okay,
what was the hardest challenge? Because I feel like it'd be difficult because all these businesses do different things. So like if it's like you make pretzels and then you were talking about what was
the bar one?
Yeah, the bar. Like
that was the
cocktails.
Yeah, the bar was definitely the hardest for me. Yeah, just because like I never made cocktails behind a bar, and like I knew the second I like went behind the bar, like I saw Lisa and Gordon come in when the bar was open, and they just saw me behind the bar, and they're like, "Oh, we're going straight to him. We're gonna, they're like, oh, we're just gonna go straight to him and see like if we could break him down and like, make him look like he shouldn't be behind the bar."
Was that like one of the highest pressure moments for you, man? Like when you're in there and you know Gordon Ramsay's coming up to you, like this is you. This is your moment. You could be the next viral clip on social media.
Clip just looking like an idiot. Yeah. No, it wasn't the most stressful. The most stressful was the first pitch to like be on the show. Yeah. Because like if you mess that up, you're not even on the show. And then the finale was where I had to do basically like a TED talk in front of like 200 people on a stage, which was crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah. I remember I saw that where it was like, I mean, you crushed that, bro.
Thank you.
Are you like rehearsing everything like in your hotel room beforehand to try to get ready?
No, they're like, you would think you have a lot of time for this stuff, but it's like, so the first pitch I was rehearsing in the hotel room because we had like 3 or 4 days. But then like those challenges, like when you have to do like these pitches, like for the convention center one, we had to come up with a whole rehearsal skit for our team to like do a presentation of these things. We had like an hour.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah, you have like an hour and you just have to like memorize it or just go off the top. So that the final one, they gave us some note cards, and they were gonna let us use note cards because like it was very stressful, and they were gonna let us use note cards. So we had like a day to write our presentation. They told us one day what it was gonna be, and then we like went to our hotel rooms that night, and they like gave us the whole night, and they were like, write your presentation tomorrow. You present in front of 300 people.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That is wild, bro.
Yeah, so actually they gave us the note cards. I had it all written out on note cards. We did like a run through with Gordon and Lisa during the daytime, and we go down to the stage and we like see the room for the first time with like all the chairs, the stage, a huge digital screen with our logo on it with like animated and stuff. And I had the cards and I did it, and Gordon's like, lose the cards. All right, damn, I'm gonna lose the cards. yeah. So I was the only one in the final. I did it without the cards. The other two without their cards. Yeah,
that's crazy, and you still crushed it, bro. Like, I got to give you your props.
I'm honestly really happy I didn't use the cards. It felt more natural, and I just like
it looks better.
Yeah, it looked way better, and it was a story I told 100 times.
Yeah,
like I basically just went through my story that I told.
Yeah,
so it was easy. Once I was up on the stage, I was not nervous at all, and I just like did it, and it was fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, before I was nervous.
What do you think people that are watching that show have no idea about? Like, is there anything in particular where you're watching it back and you're like, you guys have no idea that there's actually like
honestly everything.
Was there drama?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some drama, just because it's like such high pressure, like. People just say things under pressure like that they don't actually mean, but then like you get back to the hotel and then someone's like, oh, why did you say that? And like anything bad. It wasn't nothing anything bad, but there was definitely drama.
So there was even like beef that happened outside of the show. Like you get back to the hotel room, you cross paths with this guy that just talks shit about you.
Yeah, so we had like a team that stayed at the hotel with us. They were like the welfare team.
No way.
There was like 5 or 6 of them, so they just like kept tabs on us, and like they would meet us in the hotel room or in the lobby in the morning when we'd go to the challenges, and then they would make sure we're in our rooms at the time we had to when we had challenges the next morning.
Oh my God.
And they would take the meetings with people who were having issues and help them talk through it.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So what did you do with your business when you left for London? Because you're gone for 2 months, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I had everyone trained up to run it that had been helping me for the past like festivals and stuff. And we went through a pretty busy season right before I went, like through like October, November and Christmas time and all that. So they were used to being busy, and then when I went, they they just kept going.
Was it your first time like leaving it alone?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, first time. And I was just ready, like, if you guys can't handle it, just shut it down. I'll do the show when I come back. We'll resume. But they did a great job.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is there, like, are you even allowed to check, like, you know, anything online, like e-commerce stuff or whatever? Because I know at that time, like, I think no, actually, I don't know if you had the merch yet or whatever, but you did have, like, certain things online where...
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to them, like, 2 to 3 days a week. If we, like...
Okay.
The producers were super understanding, where, like, even if we're in the middle of a challenge and we're like, hey, I have something going on, I need to call them, they would, like, let you use their phone to call over and talk.
Dope.
Yeah, they just didn't want you to have your phone because, like, you could look up, like, how to help yourself on the challenges.
For
like,
sure.
Recipes, or, like, you could look up names or... just anything, pretty much, yeah.
God, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
And so when you went there, are you allowed to have someone with you? Like, did you take, like, anyone, or is it just you?
No, by myself.
God, dude.
Yeah, so the first couple days, like, before I really met anyone on the show, like, I was just walking around London by myself, like, like going, it was fun, though. I'd never done anything like that, but it was cool.
That was your first time in London?
No, my dad's actually from London.
Oh,
yeah.
dope. Okay.
Yeah, so I'd been there. I hadn't been there in a while, though, probably like 7 years. But I love London. I want to go back so bad.
That's awesome,
Yeah,
bro.
I would definitely recommend anyone to go to London. The food there is incredible.
What would you have done? Well, I'm sorry, the winning... the winner gets, like, what is it? Is it like a...
250 grand.
250 grand, that's right. And it goes towards your business, or is it just like...
No,
for
they
you?
just give it to you.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
But I mean, I would have put it all. Or
What
not
would you
all
have
of it,
done?
But probably would have got, like, some kind of investment property, I think, and... either gone that route or put it into, like, the kitchen, and I'm building a new kitchen right now.
No Cybertruck?
They probably would not be too happy if I just got home and bought a Cybertruck.
Right. Oh my God. Do you have to invest anything to be on the show? Like, so literally they just ask you and you just get lucky and you're now competing for $250,000, bro. That's insane.
Yeah, no, it was nothing. It was honestly, like, it was sweet. Like, they paid for our food there. They paid us, like, a weekly stipend. They paid for the hotel. They paid for everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the only thing was, like, the weekends when we go out to restaurants, we'd have to pay. But
Yeah.
That is so dope, though.
If you had the chance, would you do anything different?
No, I don't think so.
That's good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I made it I was so close to winning. I fully thought I won. Like, after my presentation, I was like, no, there's no way I didn't win.
Damn.
There's no way.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I thought for sure I won. But I was close.
Did it hurt? You held it together very well when they announced the winner. And it didn't seem like you were like...
Not really.
You know they wanted you to cry.
Oh, they wanted you to start sobbing, but you held it together, man.
Yeah, no, it was... I thought I won, but, like, just to make it to that final where we actually got... because that was the first time, other than the first episode, where you got to talk about your business and really show your business to everyone. So just to get to that episode was, like fine. Yeah. I honestly didn't even expect to make it that far. I was like, I'm so young. Like, they're not going to put the young... like, they'll find a way to get me out, like, towards the end or something.
Yeah.
And I just kept going and going.
Dude, you crushed it, bro. And it's funny, too, how, like the Hotbox Pretzels thing, if anyone's watching this, they want to know more about, like, how you started this business and everything. We already did a full part 1 episode talking about that. And it's such a new business.
Yeah, it's still so new, too. Yeah.
It's like most people, it's like you think you would have to at least have like 10 years of, investment into your business before you can even be on this show. But like you are so new into your business, and clearly just the way you've structured it and how successful it is has gotten you to a point to where they're like, okay, this man's got some recognition.
Yeah, thank you. There was actually some people who auditioned to be on the show who didn't even have, like, a product yet. They just had, like, pictures of what their ideas was. And they, like, flew all the way to London to, like, pitch that. Yeah, and then there was other people, like, this lady, Rose, she has Twisted Dough. I was actually just visiting her in Arkansas this weekend because I'm going to start an e-commerce with the Pretzels, and she absolutely crushes it on e-commerce.
Oh, really?
She's doing, like, hundreds of thousands a month.
And she was on the show too?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She was on Gordon Ramsay's team though.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And so you guys just connected through the seeing each other passing and like after in between.
We would actually hang out, like everyone from the show would hang out a bunch because we're like all in the same hotel and like we don't know anyone there. So like we had a decent amount of free time. Like we would get home from challenges around like 5, 6 in the afternoon and we'd all go to dinner together. Like all the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so she Twisted Dough, is that Pretzels as well? Or is that
that's actually funny. I never thought of that. But her Twisted Dough it's like a batter almost, like a cookie dough, brownie dough, and it has protein in it.
Oh,
yeah.
dope. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, she does like a bunch of different flavors and she has like a legit business.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And so hadn't gone on the show, do you think you would still, like, obviously going on the show, like, probably increase, you know, not just your following, but just like, you know, your clout with the pretzel game right now.
Yeah.
Do you think that if you had a knock on the show that you'd still kind of like be at the same point you are right now, or do you think that boost really fucking helped?
I don't think it helped that much.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely as far as like Instagram, like I got a bunch of followers
Yeah.
from that. But as far as like the business, I don't think it made that much of a difference.
But you don't think now you're able to step away from it more and have your trucks be ran by other people? You don't think that kind of forced that to happen?
Oh, for sure. That definitely forced it, but I think I would have
Eventually.
I would have got to it. Yeah. Like right when the show, when I was supposed to be filming, like I was all the stuff I've been doing now was like I had planned to do while I was in London. So it didn't just come like from the show. Like when I was in London, I had plans to do all this stuff, and then I was just postponed everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really dope, man. And it's funny because like from the outside looking in, you went and you do the Food Stars thing, and now you're doing so many bigger things with the pretzels, and you're like, oh shit, like it really fucking helped. Like that's why I asked, because it's like it seems like just obviously me and Joey had spoken to you before, and you'd already mentioned you wanted to do all these things. But I think just someone that just, you know, follows you on socials or whatever is going to see like, oh my God, like bro went on Food Stars, now he's famous.
Making that shit happen.
Yeah, it definitely gave me like a huge like confidence boost that if they believed in my business to be on the show, that it like made me realize, all right, I do have like a real business.
Oh, you got
to
it.
like fully go for it. Like before, it was like still just one food truck, and I mean it was doing good, but not like a crazy business or anything.
Yeah.
But then going on the show, it's like okay, I'm in this. Now like I've been on a TV show with the business. Now I got to go like full force.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. All gas
so now
and
I'm
brakes.
building a kitchen, doing.
And how many trucks do you have?
So I have 3 trucks, 2 operating, 1's being built right now. I just picked it up from getting wrapped yesterday, and that one's also going to go down to South Florida. So my stepmom, so we're keeping it all in the family. My stepmom and my 2 little brothers are going to run 2 trucks down in South Florida.
That's sick.
Yeah, super cool.
So why'd you choose South Florida? Just because are they down there?
I'm from South Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, word. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I'm from South Florida, and they live down there, and it's crazy the amount of events.
So there's a
down there.
good market for it.
Oh yeah. The market down there is insane because they're going to do all the way from Miami all the way to Jupiter.
Oh my!
So that's like if you think of like Jacksonville, that's like 4 or 5 of Jacksonville just like all in a row there. Yeah, it's crazy.
Is there a little bit of obviously you're keeping it in the family, which is a great thing to do. Is there ever like a little bit of like, you know, you're not able to be like hands on with it and like control it and do it the way you want to do it? I know me and Joey struggle with that with this podcast sometimes. It's like,
I mean, I've been, like the whole goal for building this food truck was to expand and have people run the food trucks for me. So when I built it in a way that like they're going to do it exactly like I do.
Cool.
Kind of thing. So there's not like, I'm still keeping all the pretzels in house. I'm manufacturing all the pretzels and I distribute the pretzels to them. So basically all they're doing is topping the pretzels.
Nice.
So there's not that much that can go wrong. Right?
yeah. That's cool though, because I mean, it's got to be so, you don't want to have a pretzel like up in Jacksonville and then go down to South Florida and it's not the same hot box pretzel. You know what I mean? Like you want to keep it the same.
Yeah. And I did like a little test when I went down there for the watch party, because I did the final watch party at this surf shop that I like grew up working at.
Yeah.
And we had the food truck there, and that was like the grand opening of the South Florida food truck too. I kind of timed it to do it on the same. So they had the pretzels, and I like had someone go order one, and I ate one. And it tasted exactly the same.
Nice.
And then I was like asking around, like some people had them in Jacksonville also from that truck. I was like, is it good? Is it the same? And they're like, yeah, it tastes.
That's awesome.
Same, yeah.
Because, you know, for anyone that hasn't had the pretzels, they're pretty Mac Daddy, bro. Like, that's the thing is I love I mean, when I went, I've tried the pizza one, the cinnamon one, and just a regular salted. Mm-hmm. And they're so good, bro. Like, I couldn't imagine going down there and expecting to get that same product and it not be tasty.
Yeah. And I honestly, that's one of my biggest things, too. Like, that drives me crazy. If I go to a restaurant, I'm like, oh, that was so good. And then I go try to get it again and it doesn't live up. It's just like the worst.
Really disappointing.
Yeah. Is there any struggles with you being so far away from those food trucks? Like if something does go wrong or something does need to happen?
Not really. I mean, I've built it like with this in mind.
Sure.
Like from the start of like making all these processes and everything, like this was the goal, and it's kind of proving itself right now, which is cool.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Where do you park them down there?
They've been taking it slow just to start. They don't want to like get too overwhelmed. They're just trying to like really learn and not like book themselves out like crazy. They've done like farmers markets. They do like just go on the side of the road. We found a couple places. Sunburn Cannabis. There's one up here in Jax that right on 3rd Street there. We'll go there sometimes. So I knew the lady at this one. I was like, hey, it's a super busy intersection right there, and they just sit in the parking lot there. And sell them in farmers markets, and they're doing a couple like beer festivals coming up for October.
Good to start like start small just to get their feet wet and kind of see like
just sell a couple pretzels.
Yeah, sell a couple pretzels, 100%.
Yeah, just to get the feel for it, and they're also like learning. I mean, there's some learning curves. They've never run a food truck before. They never really did anything in the food industry, so they're taking it slow, which is good, and then they're going to start training another person to run another truck.
I love it, bro.
Is there a lot of like food safety training that you have to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so at one person on every food truck has to have like their food manager's card, and it's like a 4-hour course.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so there's like good standards in place.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah.
I know you've obviously been doing so many other things like with the food truck business. Like you obviously you started the 3 food trucks. Is there anything after you got off the show where you're like, okay, I want to launch? Oh yeah, you also launched the
merch
pretzel bites.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the merch too, but the pretzel bites are friggin' dope.
Yeah, so the pretzel bites were for the final episode of the show. We had to basically make an extension of our business. So I did pretzel bites off of that I could ship them nationwide, which before the show I was planning on shipping. I think I talked about that last time. I've been planning on shipping the pretzel bites. So it's kind of perfect like to launch it on the show. Like it couldn't have worked any better. So I came up with this idea for the pretzel bites where you put the pretzel bites in this bag and you microwave them, and then you have a little flavor packet and you pour the flavor packet in and you shake it up and you have seasoned pretzel bites in the bag. So that was like what I was pitching on this presentation. And then I got back and now that's what I'm doing right now.
I think you released a video too where you were like going to not do them for a second. Right? Or was there something else you were like, no, I might pump the brakes on this and then not do the pretzel bites? There was like some announcements. You had some announcements after you got off the show, and it was like, yeah, we've got this coming new food truck down in South Florida, and then you're like it was
the Happy Risers.
Oh, the Happy Risers. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, the Happy Risers were the sausage, egg, and cheese pancakes that I made in the semifinals. So before the Pretzel Bites episode, there was 5 of us left, and they brought us to a grocery store, and they were like, make a new product. Like anything. Free reign. Alcohol, non-alcohol, sodas, chips, breakfast, anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I went to get a McGriddle from McDonald's, and they don't have McGriddles in London. So... So I was like, I just like had the idea of McGriddles in my head, and then they tell us who's in the semifinals in the grilling, and we go out, and Gordon and Lisa are like, all right, the semifinal starts now. And we're like, oh gosh, like here we go. They take us out of the room, they sit us down with like the biggest amount of production so far. Like there's like 40 people standing around us, giving us the rules to these challenges, and they're like, we're going to take you to a grocery store, you pick something, you have as much freedom as you want. We'll make it happen. Like whatever you think of, we will make it in one night. Like, so you come up with the idea, and then the next day they literally have it for you.
That's
of what you're going to do. Yeah, it was crazy. The packaging, it made and packaged inside of like a bigger packaging.
Oh my God.
So I thought of that. I was like, oh, I'm going to do McGriddles and just do like a freezer grab and go McGriddle thing.
Yeah.
And people absolutely loved it, and I get messages every day to actually make them and put them in the store.
The Happy Risers too. I think that's a cool name. I like it. Yeah, because I saw you talking about that, and I was like, God, the Happy Risers, like that was a Food Stars thing. Mm-hmm. And so that's cool. So you are still doing the pretzel bites.
Yeah, the pretzel bites, it's pretty challenging to ship them. That's actually why I went up to Arkansas to go visit Rose. Is we were testing the water levels in my pretzels, which the water levels determine how mold resistant it is.
Okay.
So there's like some additives I have to add into the pretzels to help the shelf life of it. Where like there's like this like meter, and it's like if you're under like 0.85, you're like mold resistant.
Oh, wow.
So I'm at 0.9 right now. So I'm pretty close. And she helped me. She went to this scientist in New York who like taught her all this stuff and made her product shelf stable. And then she just like helped me with it.
Nice. That's so cool. That.
Yeah. So now I have to go back to the kitchen and test and make a bunch of different batches with all these different powders that are mold inhibitors to be able to ship them. So it's a lot. It's not that easy. Yeah. People think it's just like easy, just put it in the mail, but there's a lot that goes into it. I have to like get it regulated. I have to do like all the nutritional facts, the packaging.
Sure.
And the pretzel bites are going to be pretty much the same thing from the show.
Is it going to be a like, so you keep it in a fridge before you actually eat them?
Freezer.
Or is it freezer? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so they're frozen.
Cool. Yeah, I was thinking, God, if you're just leaving them like on a shelf, that's got to be impossible.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, but the shipping, like I have to get them at least to where it's like 7 days of freshness.
Okay, I see.
It's not that easy.
Yeah. Oh, I would only imagine, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever they order it online, like the plan is for them to get it in. You got to cook them pretty quickly.
Yeah, you either cook it or you put it in the freezer and they stay for like 6 months.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Gotcha.
Yeah. So you either get them and you eat them right away, or you throw them in the freezer. But then when they're in the freezer, you can just take them out and microwave them for like 30 seconds.
And they have to be transported in like a one of the trucks that
Like a cooler?
Yeah, like a cooler truck.
No, that's why I'm doing the shelf life thing, because it's so expensive to do cooler shipping. That's another reason why the Happy Riser is just like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Because those would have to ship frozen, and that's like, so you got to put dry ice, and like you don't ship it on a cold truck, you package it in like dry ice in a freezer box.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be shipping them in just normal mail, which is why they have to have the shelf life thing.
Yeah, that's
if they're
interesting,
frozen,
bro.
it doesn't grow mold.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. I think that shit's so dope. That you
It's a cool another rabbit hole that's totally different than the food truck.
At any point with the pretzel bites, are you kind of like, maybe this is just too far gone, like it's so many different little steps and things you have to like, I'm sure every single day with this shit, there's like something coming up where it's like, all right, let's find a solution for this. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's just problem solving nonstop.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing so many things right now. Right now, I'm definitely a little overwhelmed because I'm building out a new kitchen space, which I had to go through architects and permits and all types of stuff. So that's been a headache. And then also building out another food truck right now, plus doing the pretzel bites. It's a lot, but I'm just taking everything day by day and getting it done.
It's all going to pay off.
Yeah.
I think so.
And the pretzel bites I'm really excited for, because I've like actually sat down and like seen the numbers of what you can do on e-commerce. And like $7,000 a day, like every day.
And you've been crushing it with your social clips too, man.
You.
Like a lot of your social clips, like I like where you do the ones where it's what is it? It's like a uncommon pretzel or something.
Oh yeah. I actually haven't made any of those in a little while, but I need to get back on that.
Those are funny, man.
Yeah,
like which one was your favorite out of those that you did?
The cookie dough one.
Yeah, that shit looked good.
I think I'm actually adding that to the menu. I did a menu photo shoot and I made that one for maybe an upcoming.
Oh, that's sick.
Nice. Yeah.
Dude, those look so
Thank you.
good.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely going to be something once I start doing the pretzel bites, I'm going to be making like recipes that people can make with the pretzel bites.
Oh,
so, like,
that's
pretzel
dope.
bite nachos or like just like all types of stuff that you could just put on the pretzel bites and eat them at home. So you like have the pretzel bites and you could follow along.
That's dope. I know me and Joey will definitely be getting on
need
this
some pretzel
Suzy
bites.
drop, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like starving this whole episode. No, man, but that's super dope. You've also got the merch. I want to mention that because I think a lot of your designs were made by the man Hauja.
Yes.
Shout out to him.
Shout out.
The boy,
Yeah.
bro. Obviously, me and Joey are rocking the OG Sessions merch right now, and these were all made by Hauja. Shout out to him. Obviously, he made you a full brand flash sheet.
I actually have a really funny story about this.
Yeah.
So I used the brand flash sheet on my packaging in the finale of the show while I was in London. And I messaged him. I saw in his story he was posting about it. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll get one done. Like when I first got to London, I think. Or no, like halfway through, because it took him about like 3 weeks to do it, I think.
Okay.
And it was like before the final, and I knew that I was going to have to make some kind of my own product for the final. So I was messaging him, and I couldn't tell him about the show. He knew I was in London, but I couldn't tell him about the show or anything. And I was like, dude, like, I really need this flash sheet done. Like, can you please rush it? Like, trust me, it'll be worth it. Just like, can you please rush it? Like, I need it so bad. And he's like, yeah, I got you. And he got it to me the next day. Then the day after, I was able to use it on the packaging for my product.
That's crazy, bro. He's a legend.
Yes,
Now his product is featured on Food
Yeah,
Stars.
and I used the whole flash sheet on the back of the bag. So like the whole flash sheet is on it, and then I put like some of like the instructions and nutritional facts and stuff. And then the front, he just happened to make pretzel bites just by chance. I didn't even ask for the pretzel bites.
Oh, yeah, with the little wings.
Yeah, that just happened to be on the flash sheet, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, my gosh.
He's good at what he does.
It's literally perfect.
Bro, How's is the man. He's goated, bro. That's one thing.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He showed up with our flash sheet the day we did our episode, and I remember just looking at it and just the little details of things he put in. I'm like, how would you even think to do that? I mean, just shout out.
Without even knowing us, like, he just made it so perfect.
He did. Yeah. And it's funny how he'll add his own little touch, too. Like, he did one of me and Joey's faces, but we're Cyclops. And there's like a lightning bolt coming out of mine. I'm like, dude, that's fucking legendary. Yeah. And it's perfect. It really fits the vibe, bro. So shout out to him.
Yes.
Is there a place where people can buy your merch? Cause
on my website. On my website, Hotbox Pretzels. We use like a print on demand thing just so I don't have to clog up with
100%. Hey, we've been there, brother. Let me tell
inventory.
You. 100%.
So it takes a little longer for shipping, but it's worth it. And the quality is way better than what I could buy in bulk and the embroidery, and it's awesome.
Yeah, no, dude, you're crushing it, man. And I definitely like the shirt that you're wearing right now, man. The back is fire. If anyone is interested in any of his merch, hotboxpretzels.com, obviously.
Yep.
Check that shit out.
You can also see the full food truck schedule on there for South Florida and North Florida.
Dope.
Yeah, we got all the events on the website.
And I know we'll be seeing you at FinFest. Whenever this episode comes out, it'll already be after Florida FinFest.
We had such a great time at FinFest.
Yeah, wasn't that shit so fun?
Yeah.
No, we're gonna we'll definitely we're recording this a few days before we do FinFest. We'll definitely be getting a pretzel there. That's like one of the things I'm most excited about.
Yeah, I'm happy you'll be there.
Boys, let's jump into Joey's favorite segment.
Let's go.
Just the tip. Joey, why don't you explain this segment to Roman, man? Because last time he was on the show, he did not.
We did not have just a tip. So just a tip is just any tip that you have for the people. It doesn't have to be about your business. It can be just man to man, man to woman, man to anybody. It's just a tip.
Life hack, anything.
Yep.
Probably my biggest one, and it's just been what I've been living by since I started the business, is just like be creative. Just like do your own thing, do what you think is cool, and just kind of go for it and see how it works out.
I like that. Yeah, that's a solid one. Joey, kick it off, brother.
My just a tip: drink your water and eat your veggies. Because I've been through a phase where like I eat a lot of fast food, brother, and it's not good. Like you really start to feel it on your body, and it's just when you treat your body right, it feels a lot better.
That's a good one because the drink the water thing for sure,
brother. You need to drink some water.
I'll tell you, especially like with the last few months, like sometimes you just get doing so many different things. Like when I'm busy, I know for me, I don't go to like Chick-fil-A or any like fast food place and I don't get a water.
Right.
It's always a sweet tea. It's always sweet tea. And if it's like a McDonald's or a Chick-fil-A or one place like that, like it's a lot of sugar, bro. Yeah. And then if I'm drinking a Red Bull in the morning or if I'm drinking a Red Bull before this podcast and then we leave, we go get lunch somewhere.
Sweet
it's
tea.
Like, it just turns into like this thing where you're really not incorporating the water very much. Luckily, like if I'm at work or I'm like doing something during the day and I'm like at my house, I'm drinking a shit ton of water.
You have water around you. The thing is, I think you got to carry a big ass bottle of water. Yeah. Because if you have it, you'll drink it.
100%. That's the way to do it for sure.
Yes, sir. What's yours?
My just a tip is don't turn on your flashers when it's raining outside.
That shit pisses me off.
That shit pisses me off more than anything, bro. I mean, granted, like if it's pouring down rain and you literally can't see anything, like maybe, turn them on for a few seconds. Yeah. If you see like there's a couple cars behind you and they can't, whatever.
If you feel like you need to have your hazards on, pull over.
Yeah, oh my God, just pull over 100%, bro, because it's so many times where it'll be like, it won't even be raining that hard. It's like sprinkling. Yeah. And you see someone drive by you and they got their flashers on and you fly by somebody, they're doing like 25 miles an hour. I'm like, look, if
pull over, get off the road.
Pull over, bro.
Side tip, turn your headlights on.
Definitely.
If you don't have auto lights, turn them bitches on.
Definitely turn the headlights on. That's a big one. Especially, bro, there's so many times where it's like you'll just be cruising behind somebody and you don't even realize there like is another car in front of you. Right. They don't have their headlights on.
You don't see anything.
That's a good one for sure. Definitely have your headlights on when it's raining. But no, the flashers thing, that just pisses me off whenever it's
Learn how to drive. Get off the fucking road.
100%. No, man. Do you got anything else left for Roman?
No, I mean, I appreciate it. This is a good episode.
Yeah.
Got to give you your flowers. You've been fucking working, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. It's cool to see the growth and just like, it hasn't even been, I don't think, like, it's been maybe 6 months since we had him on the pod last time. You've been kicking it, bro. So it's really dope just to see, all the growth and everything. Let's plug all the stuff, man. Where can people follow Hotbox Pretzels?
Just Hotbox Pretzels on Instagram and the website. And the website, you can just follow us with the food truck and
then everything. Anything new besides the pretzel bites we got coming or that people can expect?
I mean, I got a kitchen coming. That's going to be super exciting to have my own space.
Let's talk about that because you've brought up this kitchen 4 times now, and I feel like we haven't been able to talk about it. How big is it? What's going on?
So it's 1,000 square foot kitchen that I'm building out. I found this place. It's in Atlantic Beach. Such a sick location.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's not like a storefront. It's a little like off the main road, but I'm going to be able to do like Uber Eats and DoorDash and stuff. With
Oh my God.
That's sweet.
Yeah, that I'm super excited. I'll be able to keep the food trucks there, and I'll also be able to ship the bites out of there. And I found this place. It was pretty much empty. It just like had wood on the walls, no ceiling, nothing. I talked to the guy who owns it, or I went through my realtor. He's like, oh, let's try to get a meeting with the guy and just tell him your plans for the place. So sat down with him, told him all about it, and he's like, dude, let's do it. Like, that sounds awesome. So they've been a huge help. They've been helping me out with the permits and architect and getting all that stuff. It is way more than I thought I was getting into.
That's wild,
awesome,
bro. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it was that big of a production. I didn't realize you're going to be able to also ship like through DoorDash and Uber Eats.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah. So I'm
I'd be
like,
ordering pretzels.
I was going to say, bro, my addiction's going to be terrible, bro.
yeah, so I'm like fully building it from the ground up. I've been doing drywall, like hanging
way.
drywall. Yeah, hanging drywall, putting in plumbing. I'm actually building out the office. It has like a little office space.
Yeah.
I just built a desk, like a little reception.
If you need an
desk in
electrician,
there.
I know a guy.
Are you an
I'm an
electrician?
electrician,
Oh,
yeah.
sweet. Yeah, I will definitely actually let you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm putting in. I've drove up to Georgia and bought like a big walk-in freezer, 6 foot by 10 foot walk-in freezer
Yeah.
from like a liquidation sale at like a Dollar Tree that was going out of business.
What?
So
Oh, that's
yeah,
sick.
so I went there, rented a trailer, had to take the whole thing apart, load it up in the trailer, and I'm actually getting ready to build that this week in there.
God,
Get it
dude,
up
that's
crazy.
dope.
Yeah, gas tanks, ovens. Like it's a big. I didn't realize what I was getting into, but I'm super excited for that.
That's cool,
Yeah.
bro. What's been the biggest challenge like with all that? Just kind of learning how to like rebuild an entire place like that?
I mean, I never like really studied like plans, like building plans or anything. So like we had to go through the architect to like do the building plans, and they're like asking me questions that I'm like, they're
Don't
going
know.
way over my head, and I'm having to like look them up, and
Yeah.
like I don't want to like look stupid in front of them, and like so
Do you
I'm
have
like,
to deal with code and everything?
yes, yeah, fire code. DPBR code, which is like Department of Professional Business Regulations, which I actually go through the food truck with them. So like the food code, and then the fire code, and then like the city's code, and the occupancy code, and the parking code, like,
Lighting
it's-
code.
Yeah,
God,
it's crazy.
dude, that
yeah.
is nuts.
Which it's honest. I've been learning so much. So like it's super cool that I've like learned how to do, because like this is something you'd like kind of learn in college if you're
Yeah.
like doing like architecture, or GC license or anything like that. But I'm like learning it by just like doing it.
yeah.
Which there's like a little more risk, obviously, because I'm like putting my own money into like this, and then I might have to take it all apart if it doesn't pass the code and redo it.
Dude,
But-
well, it's really cool. Like, I think it's dope just kind of watching you just grow so quickly, man. Like,
Thank you.
it's obviously you had so many like big plans and big things you wanted to do last time you were on the podcast, and just now it's like you've pretty much checked more than half those things off the box, and then the food stars thing too. I mean, it's just like you're a busy dude, but you're also doing everything the right way. So shout out to you, bro. I think sometimes like when you interview certain guys, like we've had tons of guys on here where it's like maybe they're a chef or they do things with food or whatever, and it doesn't seem like. It seems like it'd be such a difficult thing to like scale for one, but then it's like they're also doing all these other things on the side, so it doesn't seem like it's that possible.
They're not
But, dude,
focused.
You're all gas, no brakes,
Yeah.
bro. I mean,
I think about it
dude.
24/7. Like second I wake up, I'm like, what do I got to do today?
Yeah.
yeah. Like yesterday and the day before, I worked like 14 hours both days. Yeah.
Dude, it's an honor for you just even coming on the podcast with how busy a guy you are.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
seriously,
thank
shout
you.
out to you, man. All the OGs are listening to this episode. Make sure you're following the OG Sessions podcast on social media. That's going to be OG Sessions Pod everywhere except TikTok. That's just OG Sessions. If you're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure you give us that 5-star rating, man. You know, hey, that boy Joey loves
Yes,
that 5-star
sir.
rating,
Yes,
bro. I'll
sir.
tell you right now. Seriously, we've been trying to run those up. So especially on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, it's like we'll see there's like, you know.
We need more people on Spotify.
It's over. I think we have over 6,000 or 8,000 downloads right now on Spotify, but only like a couple. You know, like
We need
20
more
or so.
loyal listeners.
Hey,
Come on.
give us those loyal listeners. Also, give us those 5-star ratings, man. Seriously, those things go a long way. Also, quick little fact that I wanted to state on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, because I noticed there was a statistic I saw where it was like over. I think it was like 70% of the people that listen to this podcast are not subscribed. So if you're just clicking the link on Instagram and going and watching us on YouTube, like, hey, we love you.
Appreciate
but
it, but-
hit the subscribe button. It's so easy. It's so easy.
Yeah, and
so,
then the video's there when you're ready for it. So,
100%.
come on.
Every single week. You know, we guys drop for you guys every single week. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. It will help the boys a lot. We really appreciate y'all. And last but not least, if you guys have not copped that merch yet, I will tell you right now.
Come on.
OGsessions.com is live. We've got tons of different designs on there for you guys. Obviously, if you guys want to look just like me and Joey. I mean, look at how fresh this boy looks right now. Man. Look at how fresh the boy looks, man. So y'all get on it. All the merch is on there for you guys. Last but not least, again, if y'all want that bonus content, baby, you already know where to go. That's OG Sessions Patreon.
Patreon, baby.
Patreon.com/OG Sessions. We've got secret sessions on there. We've got ad-free listening. We've got Roman's episode has already been on there for fucking 2 days.
Come on.
So, I mean, come on, guys. If you guys are not on Patreon yet, head over there, patreon.com/OG Sessions once again. And now, shout out to the boy, man.
Thank you.
Shout out to the boy.
Dude, shout out to you guys, too. You guys have been killing it with the guests.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, we're just trying to get like you, brother. We're all on our grind. We're all working, and that's why I love having guests like you on the show, where they're all gas, no breaks, and you're just crushing it, dude.
Thank
you. Shout out to you, ladies and gentlemen. This has been another episode of the OG Sessions podcast, episode 107, and we are out.
Peace.
See ya.